Dave Softees Metal Meltdown. It's Sean Peck from the three Tremors. You're listening to my good friend Dave Softees Metal Meltdown.
The stars are shining in the night. Who knows what dangers we invite? When will we know we're not alone? When comes and made us alone. If we don't hear, we come in peace. The human race will be deceived.
Alrighty, Metal Maniacs, please welcome back to Metal Meltdown on Metal Messiah Radio, one of the staples of the Metal Meltdown since the very beginning. Here to talk about his new project, The Three Tremors, which is essentially Cage with powerful voices of power and speed metal, featuring Tim Ripper Owens of Judas Priest, Iced Earth, Malmsteen, Charred Walls of the Damned, and Harry the Tyrant Conklin of Jack Panzer, Titan Force, and Satan's Host, and the man with the brainstorm for this, our guest again, Mr. Sean, the Hull Destroyer, Peck of Cage, Death Dealer, and Dennis Sherman. That being said, please welcome back the people's poet, hailing from San Diego, California, Mr. Sean Peck.
I love it. I love it because you always talk about how great my lyrics are, and that's I don't get that a lot. It always warms my heart. But good to be on the show again, Dave. Looking forward to seeing you on this tour, man. This is really exciting times.
It really is, and yeah, I remember our first interview, and that was going to be 11 years now. And I remember telling you how important lyrics were to me. Back then, I wasn't really into, let's say, growly vocals. And lyrics always, you can understand the lyrics with clean vocals, of course. And that's why it was so important to me. I've opened my mind to more extreme metal as well. So I like a lot of different kind of metals these days. But good evening, brother Sean. And I thank you for being back on the show. And how you doing out there?
Good, man. I mean, yesterday was a big press day. It's like, we were on every freaking website in heavy metal you can imagine. And Ripper was on the Eddie Trunk show and announcing the Three Tremors US tour. So it's been me. I've literally spent all day catching up on interviews and sales stuff, and it's starting to heat up, man. I mean, it was heated up before, but it's really starting to heat up now.
And we are getting to get with you at a great time because I believe the official release date is the 18th, and this is the 16th. And it's great to be able to do this before the release. And I remember last year for our 10th anniversary special that we featured you. You just gave us hints about the Three Tremors. So if you will please inform us all, how did this idea all get started?
Well, I was just, we worked on the Ancient Evil album, which was the Cage, horror concept thing, which had a full book, which was a cool, innovative idea. I'm always trying to innovate in the idea department and be clever and think of something really cool, from a metal fan standpoint. So I was just, thinking about the urban legend of the original Three Tremors with the Halford and Dickinson, version of that was supposed to happen, and it didn't happen, and why it didn't happen, and was it real? Did they really meet? Did they not? There's a video of the three of the guys singing one song, on stage one time. And it's just like the heavy metal world was deprived of something that could have been amazing with them, because they're, three of those guys should be on the Mount Rushmore of heavy metal.
Right.
It would be probably Halford, Dickinson, Dio, and I don't know who the other one would be, but there's probably a lot of candidates. But that would be three of my top four on the Mount Rushmore. So we were just, just like, hey, it was never done. It's never going to get done, it looks like. So who better to take the challenge on than good old Sean Peck as a gift to the heavy metal fans, so to speak. And, like I said, it was just, before I even started singing, I was a metal fan. So everything I do is just kind of from that standpoint. Like, as a metal fan, what would I want to see? How would I want to see it? And this is how this whole thing was conceptualized.
Yeah, King Diamond would probably be on the Mount Rushmore.
He would definitely look cool on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
on the
since I've known you, you've always been a big fan of King Diamond and the likes of Halford. And I know you've been real busy with a variety of bands. I don't know how you do it. And being that you're a great songwriter and you are the people's poet, I need to ask, did you write all the music for, the words? Did you write all the words for the Three Tremors, or did Ripper and Harry have input on this?
Now, I wrote all the lyrics. I wrote all the vocal melodies, and some of the music, kind of like how I always do with the projects that I'm in. Just I'm always coming up with musical ideas, and but the lyrics and vocals for sure. I wrote all those and laid out, recorded my entire finished version, and then sent that along to Harry and Ripper for them to record their version of it. But they put in a lot of like nuances and little, obviously their own personal inflections and couple little unique takes on it, and a lot of that stuff we used too, which really helped in the collaboration.
As I hear the music, I say to myself, this to me sounds like Cage, very much like Cage. Only it's more of a speed oriented metal than a power metal. It's power speed, if you want to say. And I hear your voices, and it's great to hear all three. But I could say, this is the next Cage offering with a couple of extra special guests. But this could very well have been the next Cage offering, very easily.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of people that don't know who Cage is or what it is. You're obviously super familiar with it. So we really downplayed the whole Cage thing because we didn't want any preconceived notions or people to go, it's just another Cage record with some guest singers. So we, in all the press, we didn't even say that it was Cage as the backing band. We just kind of listed the players. But of course, it's going to sound a little bit like that because the main writing team was me, Dave Garcia, and Casey Trask. I mean, the three of us put the songs together, and then Sean Elge, of course, did his killer work on the drums. But so it's going to sound like that. But there were probably some moves that we made that we wouldn't have normally done with the Cage thing. But I mean, that's how I like my metal. Painkiller on steroids and good hooks and all that, all the fireworks, man. Nothing mellow or reserved about it. And if you're too exhausted, there's been a couple of reviews that are like, I was exhausted after listening to this record. And like, I just don't know, I can't even relate to that kind of mentality when it comes to metal. Like, you're too exhausted to listen to a record? Like, no, dude. Like, that's why we make these records like this, to be completely over the top. And this was really, like a throwback to the old school. And that's how I grew. I grew up on metal, and it was lasers and fire and freaking monsters. And, there was nothing subdued about it. And that's what we wanted to do on this record. We wanted them to see that album cover with the three of us on there and have it sound like that cover looked, and have it exceed their highest expectations. Because you know how it is. So many of these super groups and projects, they look like they have a killer lineup, and then they never live up to the hype. It's just like, yeah, it's good, but they just never, are as good as you think it's going to be. And we didn't want that. We wanted it to be better than you even thought it was going to be.
Yeah, at times you get bands that are put on paper, they piece together a band, but then they never tour. They never go on stage, and you don't know what that band would have been live. But here you're going on, you've already performed live in Europe, and you're about to take part in an American tour, the United States, and that's great to know. And I remember telling you, I guess it was for one of our first interviews, maybe for the Science of Annihilation, when I never felt overwhelmed by your music, but I did feel goosebumps hearing your music. Remember that? And you have definitely, I would say, although you are speed and power, you have progressed over the years with your music, and it keeps getting stronger and stronger. I don't know how you do this, but it is an amazing thing to me. And I need to ask you, I would imagine this was all recorded, mixed, mastered in your own studios, but is that the case, or where was it?
Yeah,
all done?
Yeah, Dave Garcia did a great job on the mixing and the mastering. I mean, we sent it out to some pretty big name producers to like go, hey, is this, what do you think? How does this sound? And they're like, you know what? It's like, I could make it a little better, but I'm not going to make it that much better. I think it's good. And so we're really pleased with how it came out, and the reviewers are giving us a lot of compliments on the mix. I mean, Dave did a ton of work, and we're like amateur studio people. We're not running a professional studio. So for us to do it ourselves and have it come out sounding this good, we're pretty excited about that.
That's excellent. And this is being released on Steel Cartel, and that's your label?
Yeah, that's our. We had a big deal ready to go with another label, and they were just flaking out, man. They were just like, "Oh, it's coming, it's coming," and finally, we just pulled the plug and said, "You know what? We're going to do the whole thing in house." And it's been a tremendous amount of work, but I mean, we have a full page ad in Revolver magazine here. We have half page to a full page ad in literally every, I think it's like 17 print magazines in Europe. You would never get that kind of treatment from any label, no matter who you had in the band. I mean, I don't know that Metallica has that much has that many print ads going. So yeah, I mean, it costs money, but man, we're doing it right, and it's going to be everywhere. And it's definitely a lot of satisfaction doing it yourself too. And you don't have to wait and see, well, what have you done? You can just go and do it yourself. And we have a big team of people, obviously, that are helping out. But man, it's cool, and it's kind of picking up steam a lot right now. I mean, it's been good. We have a ton of way more pre-orders than we ever thought we'd have. The color vinyl already sold out like in the first freaking 2 days. And people haven't even heard the record yet. And then, when like you said, we already did a tour of 17 shows in Europe. And that was going back to the whole supergroup project thing. A lot of these albums you'll see, they'll like, oh, it sounds cool, but I'll never see this live. This is not a project. This is a band. We've already done one tour. We're doing our second tour. We're going to Australia. We're going to South America. And I think that gives it, I know from my standpoint, it gives it more value, I think, instead of like, oh, it's just a project album. Yeah, it was cool. We'll play that time to time. But if this is a band, you're going to want to buy that shirt. You're going to want to come to the show. You're going to want to come to the next show and be a part of the whole community. And the tour was really fun, man. The 7 of us really became like the 5 of us Cage dudes were already super tight and had a blast. And Harry and Tim like fit right in. It was so cool how it all went down.
Very nice. And another thing you got going for you with the graphics, they're really outstanding. And who is responsible for all the graphics? I did notice that a good friend, longtime friend, Jasix, is the web designer for your Three Tremors website. Did he also do all the graphics and your logo, or who?
No, we had. I don't even want to reveal the logo guy because he's so good. I don't even want to give him out. I love the logo, man. We had the Three Tremors logo 5 years ago. I fucking love the Three Tremors logo. I don't care if people are like, it's too hard to read. I don't care. It looks fucking cool.
It does.
Metal logos are a balance between being able to read it and having it look cool. So I love the logo. Mark Sasso did the artwork, though. Dio, Halford fame, and of course he's done 5 Cage album covers. And he did the first Death Dealer cover. So Mark, designed that cover, and it was kind of based on the song Bullets for the Damned, which similarly ties in to the music video for Bullets of the Damned that we got coming out later.
Very nice. And how did you get Jasix to join up and be the web designer? Because he's doing a fabulous job.
Yeah, he's like, part of the Steel Cartel inner circle. I go to him for the web stuff. We go to Alex Yarborough, Dr. Metal, for all the Photoshop stuff. So we got a really cool team that I met all these guys just as friends, So they were just like fellow metalheads, and now they're all part of this label, putting product together and taking my calls at 1 a.m, like, dude, the fucking artwork's fucked up. We need it now, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's fun, man. Not only are we doing, business with it, but it's all a bunch of metalhead bros that have pooled together to help out.
Awesome. And we're just talking about the European tour. If there are any highlights that stand out for you in the past performances, please share that with us. But also, let's talk about you preparing for the tour in the States. I noticed one date stuck out of my mind that I'm going to have to see you there in the Gramercy Theater in New York City, March 4th. That's before I get back to doing Softie. So I'm definitely going to have to make that show. But please tell us about other upcoming shows and what the fans' reaction would to actually see you live, and what the reaction is here in the States of you actually going to be out there touring, that they get the chance to see this music performed live. That has to be exciting to your fans.
Well, it's insane. It's, I wish I was in the audience sometime. It's insane. It's like, Judas Priest, Speed, Painkiller on steroids with three insane vocalists. Well, at least two, the other two guys. I'm okay. Um, just like laying into it, man. And it's like on stage, it's fun as hell to perform. And it's like we ad lib a little bit, so you're going to get a kind of slightly different vibe every night. But so we went out and we started the first show was in Cyprus, of all places, island off the coast of Greece, half occupied by Turkey. And it's just got this tight-knit group of metalheads. We added that show at the last minute, and that was like the first show of the whole thing. And when Tim and Harry came out here, we only did 2 rehearsals. And I was just like, dude, we're not ready, man. It was like pretty loose. And I watched the videos of those first shows, man. And we went from there to Israel and then to Greece, and they were awesome. So, that's what happens when you work with pros. But the songs are killer. We play the entire album live on this tour. So all 12 songs. I've never done that before. I've never played an entire album. And then we do a couple, 3 pre-songs, and we do Scream Machine off the Beyond Fear album, and we do a Cage song, and we do a Jag Panzer song. So the cool thing is when we went out in Europe, people came out for the curiosity factor. There were only 2 songs, only those 2 lyric videos were up, and not even people had even heard them. They were just kind of coming out for the names. And man, the live material went over insane. It just like, you've never heard these songs, here they are, boom. And people dug the shit out of them just first time in. So with that reaction, like never hearing the record, it's going to just get better and better as it goes along. And, the cool thing about the US tour is the album will be out when we tour. So that makes it a little better. And it's just fun being on stage, man. We got, the Cage guys are an incredible live band. The stage presence is fantastic, with the backing band, and it's a unique, like super powerful show. I mean, I don't think there's nothing. Only like the Halloween thing would be similar with the 2 singers, but this is probably a little beyond that. Is in the vocal department even is great as those 2 guys are.
It's got to be a better show than, let's say, Halford with Black Sabbath.
I was at that show, actually.
Yeah, I see videos of it. I couldn't believe what I saw, but it's got to be much better than that, obviously. And let's talk about merch. Let's talk about, first of all, the 3tremors.com site. Like I said, Jasix did a great job there, and you have the merch link there, and you have so many different bundles available. Please spend some time telling the fans out there about your outstanding bundles and what they could get.
Yeah, we have a extreme scream pack that you can add a shirt onto if you want. We have 3 different shirt designs. The shirts sold like crazy in Europe. I was just looking at like the inventory that we have left for the U.S. run, and I'm like, man, I got to make some more shirts. We don't really have enough. Yeah, we have 2 color shirt designs, album cover, and then this 3-headed Dogs of War, which is another cool piece of art. And then we have the black and white, same kind of thing with Dogs of War, but they're serpents. It looks killer. Shirt. We sold out of those in Europe, and we sold a ton of stuff in the color stuff in Europe. But online, yeah, this Extreme Screen Pack has, the Digipack. The Digipack itself is insane. It's like 16-panel booklet. Every page has got original artwork. It looks, how we do our packages. Our CDs are some of the best looking package because we go all out as far as the imagery on it. So there's tons of stuff to look at. And then, there's vinyl. Like I said, the color vinyl already sold out. But in the Extreme Screen Pack, you get like a lanyard with a bottle opener. We have baseball cards. You've got an 8x10. You've got a patch. You got a sticker. You've got 3 guitar picks, and for everyone that orders, we also send them this liner note and vocal guide. So like if you really want to dig deep into this album, it's got like who's on every single part of the record, and it has little liner like comments from each guy about what they thought about when we were writing the song and cool stuff like that. So that gets emailed to you also when you get to buy any of the CDs, but the Extreme Scream Pack has just like tons of also there's a flag too.
I was going to say, I noticed there was a flag and a poster.
I'm going off memory, and we had so much stuff in there, it's hard to remember because we kept adding stuff.
It's like going to the Sean Peck candy store.
Yeah, it's so much cool stuff, man, and we've been packaging them all up for the last couple of weeks, getting ready to send them out, and so a lot of value for your money.
So you fans out there, you have to go to the 3tremors.com website.
3tremors.com. Yeah,
go there and get your merch.
THETHREETREMORS.com. Also, we have a site on Pledge Music. If people listening out there are familiar with Pledge Music, that's got all kinds of cool stuff there too. So Pledge Music has everything.
Excellent. Thanks for letting us know all about that. And you just mentioned about your lyric videos there. Now, who is responsible for these 2 lyric videos? I've seen one for Invaders from the Sky and When the Last Scream Fades. Who was responsible for these videos? And do the 3 Tremors plan on making any other official music videos?
Yeah, we have 2 music videos coming out. One for Bullets of the Damned, which is pretty crazy. It's like us with these giant machine guns shooting these huge monster invasion. It looks like the Pacific Rim movie or something. So that's really cool. That's going to be coming out in a few weeks. And then we have another one, kind of a live one, where we took a bunch of footage from the tour we did in Europe, and we put it to the Wrath of Asgard song. That's one of the few mid-tempo headbangers on the album, and people seem to be gravitating to that track, so we decided to do something for that. But the 2 lyric videos, I can't remember the name of the company. My buddy had a really cool looking lyric video. It's like, oh yeah, this company did it, and they did, like, it was incredible. When I got the Invaders from the Sky lyric video, I couldn't believe how good it was, man. Like spaceships, like firing death rays and vaporizing buildings. It was exactly what I wanted.
When I listen to that song just hits you in the face. I mean, you can't deny it. It's just out there, boom.
It was a little too much for some people. I mean, that was the first thing we put out, and people were like, "Oh my God, it's a mess. It's too much singing. It's too crazy." And other people were like, "Dude, this is awesome. This is amazing." And then we put out The Last Scream Fades, which is more like a painkiller thing, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I can handle this." I mean, like I said, if it's blowing people out of the water, if being too much, then I've accomplished the goal that I set out to do.
Right.
Why would you have me and Harry and Tim and not have it be crazy?
It makes sense, right? And yeah. I know I mentioned to you in previous interviews about your CD artwork and how I always felt that it's made to be like in a comic book. It's just out there, colorful, it catches your eye. And I know that you're a huge fan of the late Stan Lee, who, rest in peace, just passed away in November. If he was still with us, perhaps he could have added the 3 Tremors to the Avengers, and then Thanos could have gotten his ass handed to him, because that's what the Avengers need, the 3 Tremors. I just saw the latest movie, the Avengers and the Infinity War, and like they killed off the Avengers. That would not have happened if the 3 Tremors were there.
Not on our watch, no. I mean, I always say, like, the reason I started singing in metal is so I could pretend I was a superhero, because I love comic books so much, and my voice is like my superpower. But yeah, man, I mean, at least Stan Lee should have taken the Hell Destroyer character and put him into the Marvel lore. I think that would have been cool.
Yeah, but the 3 Tremors would have fit in perfectly. really. So I had to mention that, yeah. And Sean, do you have any updates? I know you're busy now with the 3 Tremors. That's taken off very, very well for you. And like I said, it's essentially Cage with a couple extra special vocalists. But anything going on with Death Dealer or Dennis Sherman?
Yeah, I'm probably going to be talking to Stu Marshall right after this. We've had like the new Death Dealer album, like literally 70% done for probably almost 2 years now. So we finally just started, hunkering down to finish it. And so the last few weeks we've had some good writing sessions, and I laid tracks on a couple more this weekend. So we plan on getting the new Death Dealer album out by the end of 2019, and probably doing some sort of live thing, maybe a few shows in the US and then do some shows in Europe. So the Death Dealer is right around the corner. And then the Dennis Sherman, when we did the Europe tour, we played 2 Merciful Fate songs in Copenhagen with Michael Denner, which was really cool. He came up on stage and played with us, and so we talked about the next move for Denner Sherman, and we got Hank is busy finishing up his solo record. I think it's going to come out this year, and then Michael Denner has a record that he's doing that's going to come out this year too. And Michael Denner's doing a big documentary on the Flying V guitar, which I narrated some, which was cool.
Awesome.
That's taken a lot of his time, but yeah, I'm hoping by the end of the year we start working on a new Denner Sherman record, because that was, man, I had a great time with that. I really liked that EP and the Masters of Evil album that we did. And then we got to get a Cage record going too sometime in here, and we're going to start working on a follow-up of the Three Tremors record.
Wow, so you'll be busy for a long time.
Yeah, man, I got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah. That being said, is there anything that you'd like to tell your long supported fans out there, the ones that have been supporting you all these years? I mean, it's hard you said that there's not too many people that are really aware of Cage. I find that hard to believe in the circle that I'm around. We know of Cage for a very long time, but is there anything that you'd like to say to the fans out there that have been supporting you throughout your career?
No, I mean, I always say, the first most fun part of doing this is the performing, like getting on stage and performing. Like, that's the payoff. It's like a lot of fun. The second best thing is meeting the fans and people like you that are doing it for a passion. I mean, you're doing this because this is your passion. You're a great interviewer. It's good dialogue going back and forth, and it's fun. Like, you create this album, and then people want to talk to you about all the the cool nuances of the record and stuff. And so it's really satisfying as an artist to go, okay, cool, man. He noticed, that we did this here, and he really liked that song. And it's one of the only art forms that you really get direct feedback from, for this kind of thing. Like, painters like put their painting in an art gallery. Movie guys, they get some reviews on the movie, but it's like, all about the movie as a whole. They don't necessarily get like, oh, it was cool when Tom Cruise did that. I really loved the way how he, really made us feel that part. So they don't really get any of that. But when you do a record, you get all this cool analysis of it. And it's really gratifying when you spend all this time putting these songs together and recording them and making it. So that's the other fun part. So the bottom line is, like, we really appreciate all the people that buy the shit, still in this day, people that are coming to the shows and rock with us. And that's why, like, before, like, the opening bands, I'm always standing out there watching the opening bands, talking to people after the show. I'm always talking to people, because hanging with the metalheads is like the funnest part, because I'm a metalhead. So I'm the guy that really appreciates the people. And that's why I'm always talking to people on Facebook till 4 a.m. and never getting any sleep. So my message is thank you to everybody. I love talking to everybody about metal, and it's funny, and metalheads are, we have a song, like one of the lyrics I just did in this new Death Dealer song. It's kind of all about, like, what would the world be like if it was full of nothing but metalheads? And it just says, how great it would be, and that how, we are an advanced, we are a more advanced, highly advanced people than non-metalheads, just the way we treat each other and interact and coexist.
And we wouldn't be debating over walls and nonsense like this.
Well, no one, I mean, if you're wearing a Pantera shirt or a frickin' Priest shirt, no one cares if you're gay or what color. It's like no one even thinks about it.
Right.
They think about, like, that you're a frickin' metalhead,
Yeah.
And it's all about, that's why I don't sing a lot of political songs. It's all about, metal is an escape, and it's meant to, that positive, aggressive feeling where you're like, fuck yeah, and that was that emotion that the music brought out in me that just made, change my life and sent me down this crazy frickin' path that I've been on. So that's my message to all of you out there. Thank you very much.
And we thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in a nice New York City setting with maybe 1,500 people there. Because I know the last couple of times I saw you were in, like, bunghole areas of my area where there would be, like, nobody at the show, but you put on such a great show, and you were there in the crowd with the 10, 20 people that were there and having a good time. But I'd love to see you in a crowd with 1,500 headbangers enjoying your music. So this will be a
I
different
hope there's
experience.
1,500 headbangers out there. You tell everybody you know, as we got to fill that place.
But yeah, word of mouth is everything, and we'll do our part. And that being said, I want to thank you so much again, Brother Sean, for returning to the Metal Meltdown on the Metal Messiah Radio. And as always, I'm looking forward to the future interviews for whatever band you may come up with next, and your full entourage of bands you have going on now. And I'm looking forward to your future performances. And I want to wish the best to everyone that's a part of the Three Tremors and all your other bands.
Cool.
And I want to wish you a very successful 2019. And just one final note: go Chargers! I want them to.
Oh my God!
I want them to kick the Patriots' ass. I hate Tom Brady.
Yeah.
They always win. I don't want them to win. I can't stand that.
They've cost us 2 Super Bowl. I don't even care if we lose 100-0 the next week. I just want this, like, football gods. Like, do New England get to get everything? Can we just have one? Can you give us one win? Like, I've only got one life on this earth. Give me one victory over these. You know, the only time we smashed them is when that year where Brady didn't play, where we crushed them. Even they were 11-5 that year. They were still good, but. Yeah, Rivers is 0-7 against Brady, but we got a real good team, and the weather looks like it's cooperating. So I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping for the Chargers.
The media says he's having the best year of his career, so let this be the year. I wish that for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I need all the help I can get.
And if you still have that Mr. Softee Nerf football, that is the Chargers colors.
Where I gotta find that. I got that somewhere laying around.
Yeah, I remember that day. That was something else, that place. But anyway, thank you again for the interview. Let's go crank up more of the Three Tremors. We have 12 tunes to play. Let's play them all.